if we were to do any
instead of a losers bracket, we just talk about what didn't make.
Just mention a movie that wasn't on there.
Like what should have been in the bracket? How about we do that? What do you think should?
I don't have an opinion because my movie made it.
What we can do?
Jerry's like, we're going to talk about Black Panther.
What we can do is all three of us can say a movie, and then we can look at you judgingly.
Like, my movie made it. Fuck you.
What did you vote, Jerry? What movie did you vote for?
See? Yep, there it is.
I voted for Mind Your Fucking Business.
And that's the lesson. This is what happens when you don't vote, folks. Hello, chat. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Jazz. Hi, Darkside.
We are in our final round of the bracket. You missed the first few rounds. We will go over the entire bracket.
Yeah. Why don't you actually pull the bracket up so some of our new folks can see
I don't know if they're going to be able to see it from this distance unless Daniel wants to jump this forward. And you can check out the first few rounds. Those are available on YouTube already. The first round, the quarterfinals.
Feel free to fast forward for me at any time you want.
No, don't do that. You're the most entertaining part, Jay.
I don't know if it's good entertaining.
But Thor Ragnarok actually went down in round 1 to Logan. So
it seriously drew the number. It drew the toughest matchup in the entire.
We hated to do it. We really did.
It was the only movie I voted against I felt bad about.
So, yeah, we discussed at length about Logan and Ragnarok breaking their own formats to the betterment of their franchises.
Yeah, we're not done.
We're not done on the chat. I'm just recording for YouTube, so...
Yeah. And one thing I want to share with the chat real quick, just because we haven't mentioned it yet, which is if ever don't ever pretend like don't ever think we're ignoring you. He's also recording this for the YouTube.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to watch the chat as we were going and address it as it came up and as we had a moment.
Yeah.
I don't even have a format for this.
Okay.
I was gonna do a losers bracket, but we've talked about these movies to death, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
and I really don't want to discuss some of them again, honestly.
What we're gonna do is we're going to talk about movies that we think should have made the bracket, and maybe some either surprises of what's on the bracket or surprise wins or something. So just kind of a general discussion about the bracket. It'll also help catch the chat up to what's happened in the first few rounds.
But before we get into anything else about this bracket or what movie should or should not have been in this, there's something that I want to ask you guys and the folks watching it on Twitch and YouTube out there that has been bugging me since the first day, since the first and admittedly only time I have ever seen Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Can somebody please tell me where the fuck the Black Widow Hulk romance came from? Because I feel like there was no setup for that at all. It's just one day Bruce Banner became the shy, awkward nerd walking up to the bar to get a drink from Natasha Romanoff. Granted, if you're not turning into a shy, awkward nerd around Natasha Romanoff, I don't even know what you're doing with your life. But that whole film, I am left wondering, where did this come from?
All right. I don't have an answer. I don't know if either of you gentlemen. Jazz apparently can tell you where that came from.
In all caps, no.
I am dying to know, Jazz. Please, because I have no clue where the fuck that came from.
Seriously, the entire movie, I'm sitting there like, what? Okay, but why?
What is this?
Like, the whole time, I thought Natasha and Clint were the thing in the first Avengers.
Well, it was Natasha and Clint, and then it was Natasha and Cap.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
like this.
Oh, we never do. Let's go.
I don't know if it is.
It depends on what we mean by not like. I might like it on a certain level.
Oh boy.
If y'all didn't know that this whole romance between the two of them is one of the reasons Joss Whedon stepped away from everything.
Is that
because he caught so much? No.
Oh, he's the one who put it on.
He did this, and he caught so much flack from everybody. That
making Banner and Romanoff a thing.
Yeah. Well, there's more to it than that. A lot of people thought they were downing Wonder Woman. Sorry, they were downing Black Widow. Like they were putting her down, like putting her to a baser level or something like that. They thought they were demeaning her to an extent.
So yeah, so the romance came out of a brainstorming session with the director and several writers who were dissatisfied that the shy nerdy guy didn't get any love.
I mean, at a certain plane, I can respect that. Like, I understand where they're going from. My whole thing and I get where you're coming from with that, Jazz. And again, it's one of those cases of like, I understand the intent behind that, and I can respect the intent behind that. Having been the shy, awkward nerd my entire life, I can relate to that on many levels. But my biggest issue with that is it was so out of left field. Like, it felt like there had been no setup.
I think the problem with doing that is you're doing a disservice to Jazz is done. You're doing a disservice to the shy, awkward nerds because you had no setup and it serves no story purpose in my eyes. It serves literally no story purpose. So now you've got people looking at this going, like you, Brian, going, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Why are you giving me this? What is this?
And of course, in Infinity War, that whole part where he walks out and everybody sees him, and he's just like, "Hey, Nat," and she's just like, "Bruce."
So,
and then everybody's like, "That's awkward." That was just a jab at
exactly, Jazz. So, Jazz, there was a growing connection between Banner's self-made monster, Hulk, and Natasha's government-made monster, and Whedon literally took the connection and turned it into romance. Sarcasm voice, because we all know that men and women can't be friends unless they're getting it on, right?
Let's get it on.
And it's like always been one of Hollywood's biggest like flaws and problems.
Or the CW.
Don't even get me started on the CW.
Oh boy.
I just felt like I had to. Just whenever this comes up, I have to say CW somewhere.
I watch all of the DC CW stuff, and believe me, that is one of the things that drives me fucking insane.
Avengers 1, Natasha and Hulk connect because they get each other. They're both monsters. They're both broken. Avengers 2, I guess they're kissing now.
Which
honestly, if that was the subtitle for Avengers 2. I would like Avengers 2 a lot more. Avengers 2, I guess they're kissing now.
They're kissing now.
That, to me, that's actually the start of it. That whole, the actual part where he chases her down as the Hulk.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She got to see that, the whole thing, the whole package.
And then you even had the deleted scene from the original Avengers where, like, it's the off-camera conversation, or not off-camera, but, like, the conversation between Bruce and Natasha where Bruce casually mentions the Commodore 64, and Natasha's like, "What's a Commodore?" And Bruce Banner's just like, "Oh, you are very young." And I was just like, see, if that's
good.
That kind of relationship I thought was cute. I thought that was neat. I thought it was a nice little, they're science friends. More science friends than Tony and Bruce could be because of reasons. Oh God, yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, I mean, that's the whole thing for me. At face value, I didn't have a problem with it. It just felt like it was just forced.
It's unnecessary. It's shoehorned in, and it comes out of nowhere. And I think that is the problem with it, and it creates a problem with it because it doesn't serve a story purpose. And it's almost, I'm sorry, please forgive me for using this, but it's almost fan service to the nerds. Of like, look, the nerdy guy can get the hot chick. Like, yeah, shut the fuck up, dude. Of course.
I know you like it. Completely off topic, but just because it popped up in my feed and we're talking movies, and I know Brian likes these movies and I hate them.
Oh.
Do we need Resident Evil reboots?
Yes! No.
Well, it's
Alright, guys, thank you for joining us. No, I'm kidding.
I'll say that I liked about
I gotta get a drink for this.
70% of the movies that are coming out for Resident Evil. I liked about 70%.
I tell you what, I thought the first Resident Evil movie was fucking fun.
She flying kicked a zombie dog. I did like that.
Yeah. I will say this. On the whole, I enjoy those films. That being said, I will also be the first one to tell you that they are not good movies.
They are absolutely
but that is also
fun.
But I go to them to watch.
A movie doesn't have to be good for you to like it. Okay?
Exactly.
Jesus.
I go to watch Mila Jovovich kick zombie ass, and it's amazing for that.
I go to watch Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich's ass.
It's like all of these things are accurate. Yes.
All right, so back to the bracket.
Yeah, back to the bracket. I just had to get that off my chest.
Should we do a Resident Evil bracket one time?
No.
Movies?
Yeah. Oh wait, the movies?
No, everything. Movies, games, books.
Joe Valentine wins.
Only the yes.
All right. So, look, my love for Black Panther, it's kind of well known by now because I've ranted about this at least 3 times during this entire bracket. It has Black Panther. I'm gonna try not to gush too much but I do want to just make a few points. First off, Killmonger is one of my favorite villains.
Oh god.
Period.
Oh, he's so fucking good.
He has one of my favorite final lines when he dies. Killmonger is just a great villain.
Yeah.
I love it. I love when he reveals when he's in the fight with Black Panther. You know, when they're doing the ceremonial fight.
For the king.
Yeah, and he takes a shirt and you see all the marks representing each kill he gets, and it's like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this guy's a badass.
Uh-huh.
Like, you already knew he was a badass, but
You
just
didn't
that,
know how.
Just that moment, you just
Yeah.
fully get the feel of Killmonger. I just love that so much. I just love that, again, some bits of the Marvel formula is there, but it's different than all the Marvel films.
It is.
It's a different setting, it's a different hero, it's just... And just not Marvel films, just film in general, it just feels so different. It feels like it's needed. Like, I needed this film to be great and succeed, and it did. Because now I hopefully, I say hopefully because this is Hollywood talking about, it will open doors for other different heroes. In fact, Marvel, I think, is trying to get one of their Asian superheroes now made, which is great. We need more of that, you know. And Black Panther, I just think I don't want to be, like, overly dramatic about it, but I think it's a significant film.
It is. It's very
historically, like in society. It absolutely is.
I love Wakanda. I much as we joke about the Wakanda
gorgeous.
forever. Wakanda is gorgeous and it looks fantastic. It's just an amazing setting. I just love that there's different clothing, there's different looks, there's different. The music is some of the best music. It's different. The music is great and it fits the movie perfectly.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but Jazz made a good point. Like, just one legitimate complaint about Black Panther is do not set your final fight in a poorly lit set with deliberately low contrast costumes and fast moving small low contrast highlights. It's about the only complaint he has about the movie. Everything else is beautiful, and that's a fair point.
It's a fair point. Like, I can get it. That didn't affect me at all, but I get it.
But I think it also is it's a question of, well, were they going for something that was visually different like that, and they achieved it?
But the counterpoint, visually different doesn't always mean visually successful.
No, absolutely not, and it doesn't mean good either.
Yeah, I don't think it was bad though. I just think, like we've talked about overall Gibbs bracket how I have not always enjoyed Marvel movies as much as other people. Mm-hmm. Maybe to call myself out. Maybe sometimes I put too much stock into what I want in my movies and not appreciative of what I get. Maybe sometimes Marvel movies just aren't for me, as opposed to other people. You know, I'm not saying the movies are the problem. I'm not even saying much of the problem. Maybe it's just a matter of what I want out of my movies. Sure. And that's not a criticism or a negative. It's just taste, as we've discussed throughout the series. But
really, all it comes down to.
But Black Panther gave me just a bit more.
Yep.
And well, it's like the point you made about Logan. Not every movie is for every person, and that's not just true of Logan. That's true of anything.
Ragging on myself and ragging back and forth, but not voting aside. I am disappointed this movie didn't make this bracket.
It is a disappointment that it's not on it. I honestly thought it was going to be on there.
I'm shocked.
I really did.
And again, it's a matter of taste.
And I know only 8 people voted, but I still thought it was going to make the bracket with that.
It's also a matter of taste. As we discussed, all laughs and joking aside, we ragged on Thor, and you passionately defended Thor. Mm-hmm. It's all a matter of taste. And I appreciate and respect you standing up for Thor. Because, as I stated, it's sometimes hard to stand up for something you love, and everybody else just looks at you and they're like, ooh, really?
Let me just say, you did such a good job defending Thor that I actually voted for it against Deadpool 2, which is my vote went to put on the bracket.
I really do appreciate that, because we've all had things that we enjoy that our friends just don't get.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And sometimes...
Mine is the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I mean, there's stuff I don't share with certain friends who will remain nameless because I just don't feel like hearing it.
Yep.
I just don't.
Oh. Yeah.
And you know what? I only now, Darth Seeds, do I realize the Super Mario Brothers movie is to you what the Resident Evil entire series is to me.
Yeah, it's really.
I know it's not
bad.
good.
I understand. You don't have to tell me it's bad. I get it. But damn it, I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's fucking fun. It is
so much fun.
But one thing Jazz just added in, and just to continue back on the
topic.
But he says, I have very bad eyes. Black Panther was a stealth hero design, and it made perfect sense. But I literally couldn't see what was going on in the last fight on the train tracks until the third viewing when I was at home and could turn up the contrast. So yeah, that's an unfortunate thing when it's like the design
Personal,
makes sense,
yeah.
but because of the way it's done, you literally can't see it.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. So
I do have that
absolutely.
problem with some films in general. Some films and some TV shows in general where I don't mind dark settings because I like them.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just gets so dark and then everything around it so dark, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
And if we're talking about designs that make things difficult to see, I want to piggyback on that and talk about the sound designs of why the fuck does everything, when we're having talking scenes, we're talking like this, and then there's a big giant explosion. Why do we have to do that? Can't we just a little bit of equalize? I get you want the explosions to be big, but give me a little bit of equalizing, because I have to literally turn the volume up, then turn it down when action starts.
So,
Pacific Rim being one of those.
Yes. Oh god, I love that movie.
but,
I still have to see the second one.
my ranting and raving over
Aside.
this list aside, I think this was a fun tournament.
This was fun,
I think,
and
I think, can you bring me the list for a moment?
Absolutely.
No, even if it didn't necessarily change my opinion of some of the films, I do appreciate how other people see them, having discussed them. Like, I'm still not going to ever be a big fan of 4, but I appreciate the point of view you brought about it. I'm never going to be a big fan of Deadpool 2, but I appreciate the points of view that were brought about it. So I think discussion was good. If no other thing, it gives me appreciation for the films I do not enjoy. Which, as we came to learn with this list, was quite a few of them.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's okay. You know, it's okay because it's all, like we discussed, it's about taste, and I think we had a lesson in taste.
Yep.
I think sometimes we got to be careful when we immediately call something a bad movie because we don't like it. We don't like it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad
absolutely.
movie. It just means we don't like it.
Right, absolutely.
And I think-
I think we tried to avoid that.
I think we
for
tried
the
to
most
avoid
part.
for the most part.
We just
I know
you
for-
have to.
If I'm being honest,
defend.
for entertainment value, I hyped it up to 11 a few times. But
But that's part of the.
but
part of the fun.
You know, I'm trying to think. What,
Excuse me.
So let me ask you, what is there a Marvel movie? Is there a Marvel movie, guys, that you absolutely can't stand?
That I absolutely
Iron Man
cannot
2.
stand.
Iron Man.
Now, are we talking? Are we talking MCU only, or are we going to go all Marvel? 'Cause
Okay,
all Marvel might be a little too broad.
Let's start with MCU, but then you can add an all Marvel.
Okay. What is
Okay.
this?
Mine is definitely like I just said. Iron Man 2 is
You know,
just
you know what? Iron
as
Man
much
2
as I love
Is my
Iron
Thor,
Man.
or is my Thor Dark World, because I think everybody hates on that, and I didn't think it was that
Hey,
bad.
here- I
yes,
agree, I
it was
agree.
bad. I will not even argue that. I don't think it was that bad. I think it gets a little bit hyperbolic in how bad people say it is, and I'm sorry.
Well,
I
I'm not
liked Whiplash, but again, I don't know much about the character outside of what
I
the
just don't
movie
think they
showed
really
me.
utilized Whiplash as well as they could.
Yeah.
And
Which I did find out, I actually was mistaken.
Yeah.
I thought they were using a character as a different villain, but they actually weren't.
they
It
got
was
right.
yeah, it was the Ivan Vanko is Whiplash. It's Anton Vanko who is Crimson Dynamo.
Yeah.
Which I only knew the name Vanko. So when
Oh, yeah.
when it was stated,
You were like, wait a minute.
I was like, that's not who Whiplash is. But yeah, I was actually mistaken on that, and I always stood by that. That was one of the things I hated about it. But still, it doesn't change how I necessarily feel about. Like,
You know what? I'm gonna go look through the MCU movies right now because I don't know if there's one that I outright just like
Well,
no. I don't wanna watch this.
let me just make it Marvel. Let me make it Marvel completely.
I guess that's the other thing. Is like, I don't outright hate Iron Man 2. It's just of
It's
the
not as
MCU
good, yeah.
movies. It's everybody that I talk to always are like, well, Incredible Hulk is the worst. It's like, no,
it's actually not.
it's not the worst of the movies. First off, you got to think this was not MCU specifically.
Not
This was
yet.
Paramount. Like, Hulk was done by Paramount. And
So
for
I
what
think
it
my
was, it was.
question is what movie? If you're gonna MCU marathon, what movie will you find yourself skipping? That I think is
First
a better
Avenger?
way to phrase that.
Iron Man 2.
I just don't feel that. Yeah, I was gonna say I've actually done it recently where I went to watch like before
It's
Infinity
probably
War
gonna be
came
Thor
out.
Dark World for me.
But see, I feel here's the thing about that. Thor: Dark World, I feel is, which I know actually I guess technically First Avenger is needed too.
Wasted Portman and Eccleston.
yeah. For Jazz, it's Thor Dark World because he feels they wasted.
Yeah, no,
Eccleston. And they
believe me,
did.
I love Eccleston. He is my
Yeah.
favorite Doctor.
Oh yeah.
And when I saw him on there, I was like, yes, and then it was just like he's asleep for half the movie.
So So I know this kind of tangents off real quick, but I think maybe I'll do another Twitter poll and leave it up a little longer and actually have any followers, anybody watching the stream now, vote on what our next bracket will be. Some of the ones we're thinking of are, favorite doctors. We're thinking, best Jedi or favorite Jedi. I don't know how we want to word that because that's two different questions.
Yeah.
I was saying, my only issue with the Doctor one is I don't know a lot of the older
ones.
Doctors.
Yeah,
I only know from
is the only older Doctor I know.
Hurt. Technically, is a Doctor.
Yeah. And honestly, I would defend. And honestly, I'd probably be fighting effect for
that.
Yep. I was saying, don't get me wrong, I love Hurt, but Eccleston will always be in my heart.
Yep. Speaking of Twitter, Chad, I just shared with you Senor Dave's Twitter handle.
Favorite bad movie. That's also a good idea for a bracket. Favorite bad movie.
That's a good one.
Because Super Mario Brothers is I would probably put that on there for my own.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a bad movie. Like I said.
Yeah. I do have a few I could add to that.
Or alternatively, instead of
is this what people constantly say, or is like it's or is it that it's bad, but you still love it? Like that's the point.
Mario Brothers is
I like the Expendable movies, and I know people trash the Expendable movies, but I like them for
the
what they
Expendable
are.
movies is what it is. It's a dick flick. That is literally what it's meant to be, and that's what it is.
Great.
And it's good at being that.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? Like, if we did that, what would it be? Would it be a movie that we know is absolutely bad, and we still love it, or is it what everybody says is bad?
Or is it something that's universally
like Thor? Most people don't like Thor, but
and where certain cult films fall, where they're really bad, but people love them so much that don't you dare tell them it's bad.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Best Christmas movie.
You
know what mine is.
Yes, it's the only Christmas movie.
Yeah.
The other thing about best bad movie is like, are we talking about one we hate the most, like actual like the worst of the worst? Like, what do we hate the most?
But see,
or
would
is
it be
it
something that we actually have seen, that we sat in a movie and watched?
Well, I think it would have to be, because I think if you haven't seen it, it's not fair to.
Because what mine is, I will tell you now, Man with the Iron Fist.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't think I have either, actually.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I don't know if any of them have seen it that's in the chat, but I really wasted my money going to see that movie.
Yeah. But I think before we get back to the Marvel side of things, I do want to say that I think the easiest way to go about it would be to have a tournament of like the best of the universally panned films. I think that would be the easiest way.
Right. If we're gonna do the bad movies one, it's universally panned, but we like.
Oh, Jazz. By the way, Daniel, Jazz asks which man with the Iron Fist.
Well, I know there's two, but like the one with I can't remember his name. Is a rapper. He
RZA?
Yeah, I think it's RZA.
Was it either RZA or GZA?
RZA.
I think it's RZA.
RZA.
But it had
Wu-Tang Clan.
It had what's his name in
with.
it? With Dave Bautista. Wait, is it Dave Bautista?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his name.
He was in it. Yeah, he was in it. Gladiator. Russell Crowe was in it. Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good cast.
It was a pretty good cast, but it was just so weird and strange.
Yeah.
It's a Chinese style fighting movie, which normally I'm okay with, but
Okay, the new one, not the Shaw Bros, Hong Kong Theater, or the others. Yeah, that was underwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of kung fu style movies, if you like kung fu movies and you want to see a kung fu movie, I actually recommend this, and people look at me like I've got three heads when I say it, but I recommend watching Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. It is a good kung fu movie. That is what it is. That's what it feels like. That's what it looks like. It is fun.
Yeah.
It's a little long.
and actually, I would not look at you sideways for that one because I know what you're referring to. It was the one that was released on YouTube, wasn't it? I think.
I'm not sure. I have a DVD of it.
I think it was released on YouTube. I think it was actually released on YouTube as a miniseries first.
It's the one, probably, because that's probably why it's so long. Because it's the one basically about Akuma. Like,
Yeah.
it's his story.
That one was well made.
I love that. I was watching it and I'm like, holy, why have I never, like, I literally saw it in the Walmart, like, discount bin. And I was like, I've never seen this before.
Those Mortal Kombat shorts were good that they made, the live
Oh,
action
the shorts ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't
Mortal
talk
Kombat Legacy, I think was called.
We,
something
yeah,
like that.
we don't talk about Annihilation.
No, no.
Talk about what?
Exactly.
But
What
yeah,
movie is that?
let's talk
All
about
I heard is the first Mortal
The first
Kombat
Mortal
movie.
Kombat movie, I actually, that's another one that I kind of love.
That might be one of those ones
Like,
that's universally
like,
bad,
yeah,
but
or,
it's good.
Or even I understand, yeah, it's not really a great movie.
Street Fighter. With,
Of course! It's so bad, but it's
Bison
so-
dollars.
but it's a good
so
movie.
fun. It's
Or actually, here's one. We watched it the other day. Like I don't know if it gets
I
bad rep, but
understand.
Surf Ninjas.
Surf Ninjas. I
With
think it
a
does.
young,
There's
uh,
dynamite in here.
I think
Throw
it
it out.
does because A. Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider is.
and
If you see
B,
Rob Schneider.
Leslie Nielsen as a fucking samurai. Like what?
Not just any samurai, a cyborg samurai.
Man, and they say Tom Cruise makes the least.
You know what? I will always defend Surf Ninjas for one reason only. The scene at the end, that guy, that poor guy keeps getting knocked down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
At the end of the
And
movie,
he's
he's
just like,
coming
hey
back
man,
up.
you lost, bro.
And he just takes himself down. As a kid, I rewind that 100 times.
That's what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong,
Tape
I
started to
love
stretch.
that movie. That is
Oh, yeah.
one of the movies
It's
from my
so much
childhood
fun.
that
Oh, yeah.
I fucking
It's funny.
remember.
Okay.
And it's
You know how
so
there
good.
used to be stories.
But I loved it more when we watched it with Jacob.
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
we
the riff
started
track we
riff
got.
tracking it.
There used to be a story from Blockbusters and other video stores of the movie Fast Time in Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
Where there's a scene where the woman kicked her
Yeah,
top
the-
off in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it used to be stories of how that part of the tape
It's always
getting-
stretched.
was stretched because half the time
They
people would
paused
want
it.
it. That's
Yeah,
me and
why
Surf Ninjas and the chick and the stairs. It's like, ha ha, fall. Ha ha, fall.
Speaking of movies that like you grew up with as a kid, does anybody remember Three Ninjas?
Yep.
I
Yes.
watched the fuck out of Three Ninjas,
Ninjas
and
too.
Kick Back
And Knuckle Up.
and Knuckle Up. Those. And then another one happened that
Tum
we don't talk
Yeah,
about
we don't talk about it. Tum
because
Tum.
Hulk Hogan was in that one. And High Noon at Mega Mountain, I believe.
That
it
was
called.
it. Yep, that was the one.
It
I don't remember that.
doesn't use
I remember the nanny.
The first three had all the same actors for all the kids, for everyone. Like it was a complete trilogy. And then they had three completely different kids. They had completely different parents. I think the grandfather might have been the same guy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then Hulk Hogan was a like action figure superhero guy.
Okay. Hulk Hogan. What movie am I thinking about, Brian? When Hulk Hogan comes up, what movie am I thinking about?
I know which one.
I can think of several, but I know the one you're thinking of.
What's the line?
I was frozen today.
Suburban Commando. And Undertaker with the squeaky voice. You're a
God, no wonder you never talk.
That was what's his name? Wasn't it Doc?
Yes.
Because I think
Christopher Lloyd.
Was it Eddie, or was it Jacob who kept doing that over?
It was probably
It was
me.
in reference to your wizard because that's what he was.
Oh, yeah.
What your wizard
Yeah,
was like. I was frozen today.
Jazz.
also adds in. Yep.
Nice join.
Were we supposed to be talking about Marvel?
Who cares?
No,
We're
we
done.
kind of moved on. Like,
Well-
you can add if y'all got any other thing to add of
It's like an
what you
ex-girlfriend.
wanted
I've moved
to-
on.
What you wanted to add to the bracket, like Jared said.
I would say
Black
what I am
Panther.
surprised that didn't make it. Because especially how close it is to it have coming out.
Infinity
was
War.
Infinity War.
Yeah, I actually thought that was going to be on there too.
I was surprised it didn't get
I was
like when you
shocked.
said that Thor got the most votes from everybody that voted.
You were like,
I was
what?
just like, really?
Yeah.
It's like
Thor
I mean,
got
Deadpool
3
2,
votes.
Thor Ragnarok. You know,
Yeah.
Infinity War didn't even get one.
And see,
Like,
this is why I need Brian's followers to vote, so we have more
Well,
diversity.
he can put a thing up, right? You
You'll retweet.
Next time you can read.
I'll
get-
retweet the bracket when I do it.
Well, let me be clear that Infinity War would not have won.
No, it wouldn't.
No.
That is my. But I mean, I'm surprised it didn't make this because if no other reason, it's the most recent.
Yeah, I thought it would make it. I thought Black Panther would make it. Not surprised about Ragnarok. Not surprised about Logan.
There's a couple of borderline ones.
The one that I'm surprised of, especially since I didn't vote for it, is Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Not
Literally,
that I-
my mom put that on
But
the
see,
bracket,
that's the and
so-
not. But I actually really enjoyed
I
Apocalypse.
loved Apocalypse.
It's-
Well, we talked about
yeah,
it.
it's like
Pretty-
it's one
pretty-
of it's. I mean,
It-
Logan aside,
Logan
it's one
aside,
of
it
the
did the
best Fox
X-Men right.
movies
Yeah.
that they've done recently.
And you know, Jerry, you talked about like the benefits of this bracket, and honestly, like I think one of my takeaways is I had written off X-Men Apocalypse as like, I don't know, I heard that's not that great. It doesn't look super great to me, even though it has Psylocke, who's always been one of my favorite X-Men / X-Women. So,
Yeah,
but now from hearing you guys, it's like it's really good. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll give it a shot.
And the only thing I will say is don't get too attached to Psylocke because she's underused.
Gotcha. So don't go in with
Don't go like Psylocke. It.
Don't go in expecting the Psylocke show.
That
Same
would,
Psylocke show, same Psylocke channel.
yeah, that would be like me going into X-Men 3. Like, boy, I can't wait to get all kinds of Cyclops action.
I still love your story.
Oh god, I can't wait.
Where the fuck is Cyclops at?
Everybody's all sad. I'm just like, no, he'll come.
Brian, you need to watch Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it fixes it.
I now
I'm telling you,
I now
Finally reappears in Days of Future
I now
Past.
want it to be an X-Men theme park that Brian goes to. And
Where the fuck is Cyclops?
and he spends the whole theme park trying to find the Cyclops roller coaster, only to find out it's coming out in 2020.
No, I was gonna say it's permanently closed.
Oh,
Like, it's
and see, you'll love that too, because you know it brings in this one finally brings in Cyclops, X-Men Apocalypse, the younger kid,
the
of course.
actual.
Yeah.
And oh my god, did I freaking almost geek the fuck out at the end of the movie when they showed his outfit. It was the 90s outfit, and it was just, I was like, ah! Like, it was...
What do you expect me to wear? Yellow spandex?
It was, of course, it doesn't have the yellow, but it was the
was
whole...
still-
it was
yeah.
that
How
whole
do I know
little... like,
you're a dick?
You're a dick. Oh yeah, that's him.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, but to be fair, Jerry, ask my optometrist. Nothing comes out in 2020 for me.
Terrible, Brian. Get
That was real. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
You know what? Cyclops should die in every movie after that.
Jesus Christ.
I think Last Stand got better when he died. But no.
Fuck.
I stand by it. I wasn't a fan of him in the movie.
We're talking about
his
we
character
talk about
was-
how sometimes you have to defend something that everybody else dislikes. That's Brian and Cyclops. He loves Cyclops. That's why every single one of our friends can't stand Cyclops.
All of our friends hate Cyclops.
only the
X-Men
X-Men
and
Fox.
United. That's the only ones I don't like.
Oh, no, some
I
of-
love X-Men from
The 90s
I love the
cartoon.
90s.
Oh no,
Cyclops
some of
is
our
one of my
friends
favorite
some of our
characters.
friends will go on 30, 45-minute rants telling you why Cyclops sucks and you shouldn't like him.
Oh Jesus.
I also don't like him in
All right, you
Legendary.
But it's just like,
He's
oh,
absolutely
he's
useless
worthless.
in Legendary.
Well, I think he was one of the original included
oh god,
cards.
what did Jack say? Of course, Last Stand got better when he died. He died in the opening credits. There's nowhere to go but up from the credits. Unless you're a Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie. Oh.